So I'd been having a recurring dream from my early teens, I'd say. Um, it wasn't a very pleasant dream because I always felt that I was fighting. I was always getting involved with somebody who was always coming after me with a knife, which can be a little bit scary and a little,
Just a
can
little.
make you feel a bit concerned. Yeah, and I was always able to get away. But when my fiance said to me about obviously you were doing dream interpretation or able to help people explain their dreams, um, I just thought to myself, I'd really actually like to know like what's behind this.
Mhm.
Um, so I was very relieved, to be honest, to be able to have that session with you and. The fact that you were able to offer one to me, I really appreciated it a lot. It was very valuable to me.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. So, what were you feeling like? I mean, yeah, that's obviously scared about the nature of the dreams, but in just your emotional state, how were these dreams leaving you um once you've had them or when you were having them?
Um, I remember. I think it was just I had my motorbike accident at 18, and I remember having one after that that was really intense. I was kind of like I was with my girlfriend at the time. I think I must have been in my early 20s actually. But we were on like this pier, like in California, like the California Pier.
Oh, Santa
And
Monica Pier, yes.
yeah, yeah,
I know
yeah,
it well.
yeah. And I was there with my girlfriend, and then this guy appeared with this knife. He started chasing me, and I remember trying to get her away, so that he was just coming after me, so to speak. And I could see that she was really concerned. But anyway, I ran down the pier, and I like just was running past all the people, and then I jumped off the end of the pier and like down into the water, and I could like feel that sensation of jumping, and I didn't hit the water, but I remember just waking up and my heart was absolutely pounding. And then I think I had that twice. The other one was where I just jumped off a cliff to try and avoid this person.
Wow.
And I never hit the bottom, but you wake up and it can be a bit scary, when a dream's that intense.
Sure, of
Um,
course.
and I didn't, I'll be honest, as a bloke, I didn't really sort of dwell on it, if you know what I mean. I just thought, oh, that was a bad dream, maybe someone ate or whatever, or didn't get enough sleep, etc., etc. So I just kind of sort of tended to pass it off.
Yeah.
But then with everything that I've been doing recently to better myself and work out the things that are blocking me and stopping me from going forward. So I've been like working with somatic therapy. So doing that and then our session about the dreams it's just been such a massive relief because of the fact that everything's so connected through the body. And it can be quite easy for us to just think, oh, yeah, we're just having a bad day, or we're just having a bad
Yeah.
week or a year, or just
Yeah.
things like
Or
that.
life. Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then you start connecting all the dots,
Mhm.
and you realise how like unique you are, but also how important it all is. How important it is to be good to yourself because of the fact that your mind, your heart, and your soul can start basically making your life a living nightmare, so to speak.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So now, during after our session, and where we walked through the dream and looked at what the symbols and feelings and thoughts that came up attached to those dream symbols, how did you feel? What were you left with once we had finished going through the this dream?
I like the fact that we worked through the things. Like maybe at first, like it wasn't exactly right, but I kind of felt like we were going down the right road.
Hmm.
and then it was like once we started, like I say, connecting things. Once we started homing in on things, I say it just felt like a big relief because it's kind of like I've made a lot of effort to work on myself. You know, I've invested a lot in myself,
Mhm.
and yeah, they say, you know, the greatest investment, the best investment you can say is in yourself. And so I'm like glad that I did that because we worked through those connections,
Mhm.
and it made sense. It made sense because it felt right, and it didn't feel right because it was like, oh, I want it to be that. It didn't feel right because I was trying to shape what you were saying to fit what I wanted to hear.
Mhm.
It was a case of I've been working on this for over 3 years, you know, and it's kind of like I'm if I look at it as like I'm climbing a mountain, I feel like all the things that I'm doing, I'm starting to get to the top of that mountain now. Because it's kind of like when everybody you're working with or seeing and talking to is saying the same thing,
Mhm.
then you could either be really difficult and keep fighting yourself and
Yeah.
keep fighting the solutions and holding on to what you're used to and holding on to that pain, so to speak. Or you can say to yourself, you know what, I'm doing all this for a reason, which is what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And you know, if I went to the doctor or I went to several doctors with a problem in my hand and they're all saying the same thing, then I know that I need to work or I need to work on that hand to make it better.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like, yeah, I know I've said it a few times, but it really has been like a big relief because dreams are they're quite a unique part of our life, aren't they?
Most certainly are. Yes, they're the
You know,
deepest, most intimate part of ourselves, which is
yeah,
why people don't like to talk about them very much.
yeah, and also I guess why it can be quite quick to dismiss them. Like, you know, you were saying afterwards, you can only sort of remember like 10, 20% of your dream in detail. And it's like, I sort of think maybe that is because when it's really personal to us, when it's something that hurts us or when it affects us, maybe we don't want to remember it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean that's part of it certainly, but it's the kind of thing because it's at a deeper level of consciousness. If you don't make an actual effort to capture that information, it just dissipates when you wake up. Which is why I advise people to have a glass of water before they go to bed, because water is likened to our emotions, and that can help stimulate the dreaming process. But also just to keep a little piece of paper or a pad and something to write with by the bed, and not write War and Peace, but just jot down little bullet points, and it'll look like a 5-year-old was scrawling in your when on the paper, but that's enough to be able to jog your memories so that when you're fully awake, more of the dream will be captured. And the other thing is that the unconscious mind, once it sees that we're making the effort to remember, it will do things to help that process so that you remember more. The other funny thing about that is that dreams have an emotional charge behind them, as you evidence that you wake up with your heart pounding, or feeling scared half to death, and we will remember the whatever it is in the dream that has that highest charge behind it. So you may forget details, but the most important bits, the bits that really make you sit up and take notice, are what you notice and what you will remember. So, don't get freaked out with, oh, but I don't remember all the details. It's okay. You remembered the most important bit, the bit that you need to look at that moment. So I'm really glad to hear that you gained some clarity, and was able to better connect the dots from all of the different advice and assistance that you're getting. But in the end, the reason why you um, were able to agree, and I put that in quotes, with what I was saying is because it resonated with you. I, in the end, am not the one who interprets the dreams. I decipher the clues for you. It has to click with you, and you'll know when it's right because, like you said, it just clicks. It just feels right. And occasionally, we may not get the full meaning right away, or we're not meant to know right away. And that can happen too. Sometimes you have to sit with the dream and be able to let it process a bit more. But that it clicked with you, then we're definitely on the right track. And I'm sure in the coming days and weeks, more things will open up for you, as you work through these different emotions and things that have been brought up by the dream. So please do keep in contact, because I'd like to know if the dream actually comes back or if it changes in some way. Because what happens is, if we don't get the full message, it's like the unconscious says, okay, you got that bit, but let me bring this back slightly different so you can get the rest of it.
Yeah, yeah,
So either the dream will stop completely, you won't see, you won't have it ever again, or it'll come back with some kind of little tweak to it to help you to move things further a bit more. So I'd love to hear, going forward, what happens in that respect. But Peter, thank you so much for having this chat. I'm really so happy that our work together, even though it was brief, helped you to move things and shift things a bit for you going forward, and that you're feeling a bit calmer and a bit more relieved, than you were before we started. Thank you so much for that. It justifies everything that I do, and I just love it. Thanks again.
no, thank you so much, as I say, for letting me make an appointment with you. As I say, it's been 100% beneficial. I'll definitely stay in contact.
Oh, good.
But yeah, I just really appreciate everything that we've been able to do together.
Thank you so much. And we know maybe we'll have to revisit this and see how things have moved on for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, 100%.
All right. Thanks again. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Take care.